Hey, everybody. Surprise, another couch stream. Uh, what's up, everybody? Hey, Steven, Trail Dust, Mr. Maker, what you guys doing? I say everybody, not a bunch of people. I don't expect it to be. Gonna be a shorter stream today, I guess. A lot of a lot of factors went into why I'm on the couch today. Brains will rain. What's up? Couch potato stream. Um, my I was out in the shop earlier today, and as I mentioned this morning, my chimney is down from cutting the tree, and I can't access it to repair it at the moment. So with that and my propane, currently at about a half a tank, and maybe less, I think, because I used a lot of propane last week. Um, and I don't have the chance to get any more right now. Um, what's up, Shane? Night church. No, this ain't church. Um, it's a bit different, you know. I ain't talking about community right now. um, but yeah. So between the propane, the chimney, the weather, and just all that, it's like what? Let me just set up here on the couch and chit chat, come up with some ideas, thoughts, and you know, if I get if that doesn't go well, I could always, if y'all want to see forging and we demand to see fire, I could always, pop up some videos to play up here in the corner, over here, or over here, whichever way. What's up, Eric? Robert? Um, also, I got a headache. Give me a second. Um, but yeah, the discussing sculptures and planning and brainstorming ideas, I can, kind of give you guys an idea of things that I'd like to accomplish in the shop. Um, I suppose we could say throughout the 2023 season. uh, and sorry, opening up my BC powders, my big old 50 pack, you know. Um, but yeah, as you guys know, that one of the big projects that I've got planned is the octopus sculpture, and forging the octopus and preparing the octopus is technically the easy part. Um, technically the easiest part, at least in thought, because it's an already set process, and it's I know it's going to be the focal feature of uh, the sculpture. So obviously, as you guys saw last week, I'm going to be making it out of wrought iron, and then coming up with the decision on the suckers, the tent or the eyes, or not the eyes, the details to it. Well, I guess the eyes. Do I attempt to just divot in some eyes, or do I take and grab some wrought iron and forge out some pieces that I can then like plug weld onto it or something, to kind of give it some depth. Planning a little bit ahead for what I'm going to be expecting. Um, and that also comes with, if you guys know the scope of the project, my intention is to have the octopus being grabbing onto something or pulling something down into the water or through the water. Stick googly eyes on it. That's what I should do. But yeah, so the thoughts that I've had have been going along the lines of hmm, along the lines of like a ship. All right, what type of ship? Do I go with like a modern, cruiser, like a modern battleship? Do I go along the lines of like a fishing boat? or like a 1950s or 1960s shrimp trawler, um, or do I go like full on holy moly and do like a you know 19th century uh, Spanish galleon, four or five master, three or five master Spanish galleon, or do I do like a cruise ship or whatever? Um, and one idea was I was having would be, or that I actually Alex over at Transcendental Art Studios sent me, or told me, submarine, would be a relatively simple um, look, and it would solve a couple problems. Um, one of which being, the structure of it would be pretty simple, and I could focus more time on the detail, making it look right. And I could crush the middle of it in and give some damage to where the tentacle is gripping it to give an idea of the scope and power of the octopus. um, hey, Bill. Um, that is one way of doing it. That's actually one of the ways that I've been doing suckers, Bill. However, there are mm, a few issues with that, with the way that I'm planning with this wrought iron. The wrought iron is going to have a deep etch. So anything that I stamp into it with the like the eye punch, like you're talking, because that's I've done that before, and it looks pretty neat. Um, on like polished steel, it makes it look really great. However, I've also done it on wrought iron, and you really lose that texture to the or that look to the wood grain texture of the wrought iron. So I've got a few ideas for the tentacles to make them pop. All of them are extremely tedious. Um, one of which would be me practicing my little spot welds and just do little dops and boop, 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 all over the place. Either with oxyacetylene and a hanger, or um, with a stick welder sucker. uh, Another thought that I had was to go through the tedious practice and probably run through 1,000 drill bits of drilling out all the spots where the suckers are going to be, you know, and taking a bit of copper wire and hammering it in there, uh, you know, to hold it in there, or maybe even like a little bit of resin or glue to hold it in there or whatever, and then painting them over to give that like multicolored look. If I were to do that, one thing that I would have to do would be get a whole new batch of muriatic acid, um, or ferric, make a whole new big batch of ferric chloride, because after I'm done etching it, the copper will have tainted it for use of any um, just plain etching. It would pretty much become like copper sulfate kind of thing. Um, for some reason, can you all see me? Okay. For some reason, I was getting the spinning wheel of death. Um, I don't know what that is. All right. I don't know when it stopped. Um, Let me see. Uh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Hubcap? Yeah, no Forge today. A few reasons. Um, Weather is one. The propane is another. Chimney is a third. And then a few other reasons. Um, could you do octopus in rocks or coal? That is another thought for it as well. Initially, my plan had it being like a standing with no base, and just kind of being it's just the octopus and a ship, a vessel of some sort. Um, and Another thing that Sully brought up was to show scope of it and to kind of flesh it out a little bit would be to build a base for it to sit on, that I can then build up like a small version of the steel reef that I did with the jellyfish. Not doing jellyfish, but just, small, little texture to give it the coral reef look. Um, my hand is up in the air. I don't know. Hey, George. Um, but yeah, so back to the suckers in case that's where it cut out on me. So the three main ideas that I'm running with the suckers of the octopus arms are stamping them in, like I'm used to, uh, learning and perfecting, and actually this would be great practice, little dot welds to like build up material and just make a bunch of dots and then take those and, use a center punch to give them a little bit of a look, or drilling a bunch of holes and putting in like copper uh, wire and then peening it over like a rivet, like a tiny little rivet, um, just to give a little bit of texture to that goes along with that wood grain of the wrought iron, you know. So yeah, it's that's for the octopus itself. Um, I have so many things I want to say that will get me kicked off the site with your octopus. Absolutely, Ben. Absolutely, it will. Yeah, we're all in the dark zone. It is 6 o'clock here, and it looks, you look outside, it's like midnight. It's just pitch black, you know. Uh, I think we've only got a small crescent moon, so it's like the moon isn't even there out, and what little out the moon is hidden by clouds. All right, I am really not certain why my internet just keeps dipping on me, and it's driving me nuts. Um, all right, and I am going to say this clearly, concisely, and definitively. Unless I specify that I'm going for absolute realism, I don't go for absolute realism. Um, Bill, I know that one side of a tentacle is flat, and if you want to go real and technical, octopi, octopus does not have tentacles. A squid has two tentacles. Jellyfish have hundreds to thousands of tentacles, but octopus have arms. They're arms, not tentacles. Um, I've actually held octopi in my hands and played with them, and I had a buddy down there in Key West, an octopus. All right, hello. All right. So we're legit having internet issues here. I just, it's not even my computer or settings or anything before anybody freaking says anything. It's legit. The whole house internet just turned off for a second. All right. Freaking MediaCom. But yeah, so yeah, just hey Bill, just so everybody knows moving forward with my style when I imagine projects, I imagine it in a realism style and then shift it in the physical as a impressionist look. Okay, so it's not impressionist to the point where it could be an octopus. It's impressionist to the point where it's a facsimile of an octopus, for example. Like I'm not going to go so realistic that it's got grainy texture. Well, it's going to have grainy texture. It's freaking wrought iron. um, but like I'm not going to sit there and I like the siphon things on the back of it. I'm not going to mess with that. The beak. I'm not going to sit there and forge out a beak. Um, you know, I'm not going to do the frills along the edges of the tentacles on the edges of the arms. Uh, what I may do is, one of each octopus's 8 arms, the last 2 inches of it has no suckers on it, and that is because that is its mating appendage. So, um, yeah, I'm not going hyper realistic in any way, shape, or form. What's up, tradesman? What is up? Who else that popped in? I'm having internet issues, so I don't know. I keep getting distracted by who's popping in. What's up, Paul? Um, yeah, it's not abstract yet. It's not realistic, hyper realistic. So, um, so yeah, for the tentacles, for the suckers on the arms, I kind of have to make that decision of uh, which route I'm going to go. The easy route of just eye punching everything and then letting the texture take over, or going through the arduous process of putting rivets in for each spot, little copper rivets, or weld beads. I got to get really good at that in order to do it. um, so see, but here's the thing, um, Ben and Bill Wheel, on the subject of an octopus's arm is technically flat on the side that has the suckers on it and has little frills. That would actually be really easy to do, especially considering I have a swedge block. You know, take it, put it in the half round, and hammer one side flat. Freaking simple, like super simple. I may go that route. I may not. Or I may take and uh, curl the arms where I want them, and then decide where the bottom is going to be and put the suckers on there. You know, Eric. But more so to the point of the planning stage for this is once I get the octopus done, I can figure out the scale, and that's going to be extremely important for deciding what I'm going to do with the ship or the vehicle. Like I may do I kind of am really enjoying the submarine idea for a few reasons. It keeps it all underwater, so to speak. Um, it's a simpler structural build than like one idea I had for the hull of a ship was to take some angle iron and bring one end of it together, throw a bead there, a weld there, and then using the swedge block, forging out a hull, and then fabricating, either a bow or a stern to put on it, and then decorating from there, putting a deck, putting some masts, et cetera, et cetera. Then deciding, okay, wire for the rigging, copper wire for the riggings, and cloth sheets or copper or steel for the or aluminum for the sails, things like that to that nature. Um, if I were to go the like a galleon or a frigate, you know, if I were to go like say a modern day battleship, you know, forge out the hull and then fabricate a deck with a whole bunch of bits and bobs and little pieces of metal to make it look like you know a battleship. You know, but yeah. So uh, planning that planning that is going to take some time. In the meantime, obviously, with these eight arms, I've got plenty of things to do. Forge them out, uh, uh, forge weld them together, start shaping the body of the octopus. Then I can start adding the detail to the octopus, such as the webbing between the arms. Uh, it's gonna look a little odd if I can't pull it off because my current idea is I have some wrought iron, I believe it's a wrought iron wagon wheel that I could heat up and hammer flat into a nice big flat bar and then cut triangles out of it. I would need, what is it, six triangles, I believe, for the eight arms to go in between, and then weld those in. After the etch, you will see the weld marks, you know, and I may be able to incorporate that into the look of it, the texture of it, you know. Um, uh, yeah, good thinking, Eric. A Viking or Roman era ship would be very easy to do. Basically, it's, you have the hull and then a handful of if I were to do a Viking ship, I could do like a wolf's head or a dragon's head, on it, and I could put some oars coming out of it. That'd be pretty neat. Um, but let's see, Ben, what are you talking about? You know, all from one piece, no welding. Um, but yeah, it's there's so many ways that I can go with it, and so many little experiments I can do leading up to it. Um, it's just going to be a blast, and planning it is a lot of the fun because I have a creative mind, and I like to sit there and think of what I would like to do, and then incorporate that into what my skill level is, and go a little bit above it to try and push myself. Every large project, I like to push myself a little further. Um, all right, I'm assuming I'm back. This is just frustrating. It just happened. I'll get into the flow of things. I won't be paying attention to the thing. I got no idea what I said last. You know, so for all of you guys trying to refresh your stream, it is my internet. Okay, and this would be happening whether I was in my shop. If it was in my shop, I would be even more frustrated because, all right, I think I'm back. I believe I'm back. Okay. Well, for the record, I cannot now right now I cannot see the YouTube screen. I have y'all's chat, but I have no indication. I am so there it is. So irritated by this right now. You know. All right. Stop it. I'm watching a little KBS bounce down. All right. Er. Point being is my internet sucks today, and hey, John, and I'm about sick of it. If this happen, next time this happens, don't bother sticking around. I'm just gonna shut it all off. Real quick, so we've kind of beaten the octopus plans to death. Yeah, I think y'all get the idea. Another thing that I would like to do is I'm going to be doing some sort of a candelabra, sort of, candelier